Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check waifu. Ma, tell them. Is that you?
So we here with something new?
This is episode 315 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu is where you can get early access to the video version of this podcast. Is where you can get access to the Patreon exclusive podcast, The After Stories, where you can get access to the pre-show, which goes live 2 days before this episode goes live. Thank you so much for supporting us on patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu. Shout out to the Patreon producers. They produce this and many other episodes of the podcast. Dad Needs to Talk podcast. Death Scythe, aka Christian, the archivist. Fear, Get the Pro from Chaotic Culture podcast. Explicitly, All for One Matt, Matthew, H, Monique Williams, Simi Sensei, Frozen, and last but certainly not least, our guy, Rob Stone. Thank you so much for producing this and many episodes of the podcast. We couldn't do it without you. Episode 315. Wow. Mic Check Waifu is the anime podcast. It's brought to you every Tuesday at 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Central Time. We love and appreciate you guys for listening over the years, 6 years of doing Mic Check Waifu, the podcast. We got a lot to talk about today. We didn't think we had a lot to talk about today, but we got a lot to talk about today.
I agree. It's going to be a lot of a thicker episode than expected.
Yeah, definitely didn't expect it. I was just telling Tel, usually around this time, and I'm not telling Tel because Tel knows this, but telling our guys on the pre-show that around this time that it's harder to build an episode of Mic Check Waifu is because we're deep into the anime season, so we can't really talk about the seasonal shows as deeply as we would like because of the depth that we will have to go in will lead to spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like too soon to talk about the fall anime season. So it's like, where do you go from here? But luckily we have a community that we can go to for times like this. But before we get into that, Tel, what was your episode of the week this week?
Oh, my episode of the week. And it's obscure. But it's because I know no one's necessarily going to talk about it. And while I don't necessarily think it's a good show, I do like the turn that we got in this episode. But it's Uglymug Epicfighter.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. It just had a nice little surprise that happened in this episode. And I think that it was certainly interesting, and it had me glued to the screen for the time that it was there.
Yeah, so my episode of the week could be between 4 or 5 different shows this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say my episode of the week this week, but I want to touch on a couple of the shows that could be. This is definitely a heat week for me personally. With all the shows that I watch. Incredible week of episodes this week. But my episode of the week this week is Betrothed to My Sister's Ex. Had one of the best, it had the best episode this week not by a lot, but a lot. It was so fucking good. The story, the turn that happened within the story, very endearing, very lovable, very likable, all of the above. It was a perfect episode this week. In the music too, the music was unbelievable for some reason. But now to go into the other shows that could have been with how good they were this week. Sword of the Demon Hunter. I know that's from last season. But I must say that episode was a masterpiece in storytelling and it's unique storytelling. It was beautiful. It was beautiful because what sort of Demon Hunter does is it shows you basically the end outcome of the entire story in the story, but they still give you stuff from the past that is so devastating and heart-wrenching, and it's just incredible. And they did that this week with episode 19. So yeah, Sword of the Demon Hunter could definitely be one. Makadono Sisters, it's just been one of the best shows this season. It's easily probably tied for like 1 or 2 as far as the top shows of the season. Secrets of the Silent Witch is another one that could have been episode of the week this week. That one had fucking
that was crazy
twists and turns and topsy-turviness going on. And then I know ain't nobody else watching it probably but me, but what Takari Kun's Blank is about to collapse is really fucking good as well. Like, there was so many shows that gave us quality episodes this week. Even New Saga was also really good.
Yeah.
So I just can't believe how this week turned out. This was probably one of the best weeks this season.
It was definitely quite a few good episodes. Clevitas was good. I feel like Lord of Mysteries had a fucking phenomenal episode. Yeah. There were quite a few really good episodes this week. It's hard to sleep on any of them, actually.
Yeah, I even enjoyed Apocalypse. Well, of course I enjoy Apocalypse. It's just been great. But Apocalypse Bringer episode was really, really good too. Yeah.
It was interesting to for sure because of how everything played out.
Mm-hmm. It just, I don't know. I feel good rooting for that story, Apocalypse Bringer, by the way. Just to throw that out there. Very interesting show.
Why? Well, okay. Well, we know why. It's not. It's no point in asking why.
Yeah, because if we go into why, it won't be spoilers, right? No.
No, I mean,
yeah, it's just because it kind of leads into the topic relatively nice too.
Yeah,
it's unique. It's a unique story. You know, we're playing it's an isekai story playing from the point of view of the villain. And it is amazing. And it brought up the line that I'd loved from, I think it was a couple of episodes back, about what evil really means.
Yeah.
And that I'm not going to say because I think that's really a bar that people should experience. But talking about what evil really means in that show is, it's nice. The way it was implemented this week was very, very nice. I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
Because again, it's just something we haven't. It's refreshing, man. It's been a refreshing ass show for sure.
It's also definitely wild, if we're being completely honest. Yeah, it's definitely a wild show. Because what we did get this week I was very surprised at. I'm not though, because of how our characters, like you said, they are technically evil.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very refreshing show, and I have to agree with that. I do feel like it has just way more refreshing elements than I was actually expecting to see from it.
Facts. No, that was very relevant to what we were going to talk about this week because of what we talked about last week. And normally, I don't like to. I just feel like this topic has been a popular one on our show. We talk about this so much, this particular topic, and it feels beaten, right? It feels beaten, bruised, and battered. But we got to do it because our community brought some very good points and said a lot of good things about what we talked about last week. But I mean, let's just kind of go through the community thread, because every week on our discord.miccheckwaifuwaifu.com, we drop the podcast episode discussion thread, and people go over there and they talk about the episode. So we're just going to go through some of the community's thoughts on this episode. So Crystal Light says another week of the antagonist button and another great start. And another great start to another Tuesday. Love this for me. And then she says, I enjoyed the conversation prior to the list because it's just a reminder that we shouldn't settle in the entertainment that brings us joy. Because I really see some shows come out and I side eye heavy, and they are the ones that get multiple seasons, but the phenomenal shows don't even get a chance to get another season, and it drives me up a wall. And with this list, thank you, Polo, for always giving Betrothed to My Sister's Ex the love it absolutely deserves. Anyone who thinks differently is a hater. We're not gonna talk about that. And then I say settling is what I think is wrong with the anime community. People probably think I'm jaded or I'm harsh, but I just seen so many great things that mediocre shouldn't be accepted. And I know that's subjective, but how can telling the same stories using the same methods be okay? Which I think is is like the strongest point.
And that's exactly what we get, right? And what ironically funny, and I know Mazer Alter's comment will touch on it a little bit more, but one of the things that it was crazy is the fact that we have all of these anime types, right? These, especially like going into the isekai and whatnot, where they're telling this story and they are using the exact same trope. But what I do find refreshing is that you get slice of life like the Galaxy Next Door, which felt so refreshing to me, bro. It felt so cool, so chill, but also, like I said, very thoroughly refreshing that like I can't imagine someone else doing it just like that. But how simple was that to do?
Right.
Like, how simple was that perspective? It was just a very adult perspective.
Yeah.
And why hasn't that been tackled yet with all the thousands and thousands of anime out there?
I mean, I'm sure it has been tackled in a sense, but I mean, you're right. More often to more unique realm of storytelling, for lack of a better word. No, you're right. I mean, because you got stuff like Ice Guy and his coworker or whatever that one was called. That one was really adult and unique, but it also has like some magical bits to it, which was cute and adorable. That kind of brought out some of its unique traits of that particular story. See, so you could tell the base story, right? Because it's only so many stories you can tell in this space that has hundreds of thousands of stories. But there's ways you can spin it and flip it, like the adventure shows, you know, like Clavitas being as unique as it is. You got Gachi Okuda, which is in a completely new type of world that's telling the exact same story that Black Clover is, that Naruto is, that Dragon, you know what I'm saying? It's, well, not Dragon Ball Z. I think Dragon Ball Z is still unique in itself. We're like, no matter what I say, no matter what you say about Dragon Ball Z, you can't say that it's not unique because it very much is in the space of what it is, right?
It's even hard to copy.
Yeah, very hard to copy. Like it's almost, I would even go as far as to say it's impossible to copy because then you'll just be Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
But I digress. You want to go ahead and go to TCB's comments?
TCB says the whole dangling key bit got me because like people can say the same thing about Solo Leveling and laugh my ass off. A lot of the highly popular battle shonens in recent years, actually, and your generic, cheaply produced, long name isekai slop we've been getting. Two ends of the dangling stick, in my opinion. Also, WTF, they talking about with the criticism on Kaiju number 8. They making no sense. Did they even watch the show?
That one was strange.
But one more thing, y'all reasoning for my hype for To Be Your Ex revamp episode is misunderstood. Not once was I surprised by Iso and Nice showing up. It was how the storytelling was interwoven, starting from Queen's arc, that culminated in a way that I was pleased by. Hence, why I wasn't as down on the characters that were introduced as y'all were. And I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that I hate when it seems like we're down on characters.
Yeah, no.
For certain things. I get where you're coming from.
Right. And the point remains the same, TCB. Like it wasn't surprising. Like the show has been doing this even interwoven story from the beginning. So that again, that was the point that I was making. That none of it was like as, oh shit, y'all see that? Surprising, because it's been doing that this entire time. Now, does that mean it's bad? Fuck no. It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was still incredible. But I just wasn't, I guess I wasn't as hype as y'all was because I didn't find it to be surprising. And To Be Hero X, I think we're going again with set of characters I just don't care about anymore. And it's back to I was feeling what I was feeling before that episode before this one. I'm feeling that again already. And we only got 3 more episodes or 4 more episodes left. 3 or 4 more episodes left. So it's like still a 9 point. Still a 9.
Also, right. With the whole dangling key thing though, that is what we tend to get in a lot of these anime, especially like what TCB said with like the long name isekai and the super popular battle shonen, because that's what Gachakuta is.
Yeah,
that's what Tongen Anki is, and that's what sells. And it is exactly what is going to be popular because we are not investing our attention in other things.
And that goes to the point we talked about last week. I think both of us even said like, yeah, we're going to continue to get this stuff because that's what people talk about on TikTok. That's what people talk about on Twitter. That's what people talk, like the anime avies on Twitter talk about the same shit over and over. Did y'all see, what's the dude name in Gachakuta?
Jabber.
Y'all see Jabber, the Jabber fight. Jabber was so cool. While Jabber, I find Jabber's dub awesome, but that was the best part about him was the dub. That goes to show that like the dub and sub conversation is null and void because dubbed actors just have it now. Like they have it now. This is not 1996 or 1998 or 2004 or 2008 where the dubs were terrible per se. Dub actors have it now, so that's not surprising that they had a good dub actor play what they believe to be what they believe to become a popular show, which we will be, because guess what? Everybody else is settling for the same tropes, same story, same everything. Yeah, go ahead.
What's even funnier is that, and like I said, this season I have literally had to force myself to watch these shonen. Yeah. Like Tongen Anki, I watched this most recent episode, and brother, was it difficult. Yeah. Even this episode of Gachakuta, I'm watching it, and while, like I said, it's my favorite kind of art style, it is the art style I like. Yeah. I'm really only there for, at this point, because it's easy to digest and watch because it is already dubbed. Yeah. And it's something that is like I said, once Jabber was introduced, his dub really sold me. That really is what it is. But I can guarantee you, with the progression that I saw happen in this episode, I was almost like, I want to turn this off because it just it's so predictable. Yeah, it's so, you already know what's going to happen, and that's the storytelling that we're getting. They're going to lay this line out that we're already used and accustomed. We're already used and accustomed to. Right.
So. Here's what I did for our guy Mazer. Mazer dropped some bars in the Discord. He dropped a lot. So Tell recently read it just a few minutes ago. I read it at the beginning of the week. So I put it in ChatGPT to have him summarize it for us, just so we don't have to read the entire thing. But I'm gonna read what ChatGPT says. It says you start by showing appreciation for the podcast, and then you dive into the slop discussion. You argue that the issue isn't just that isekai genre itself, but the oversaturation and reliance on the formulaic copy and paste storytelling. Power fantasy shows with overpowered protagonists are fun, but there are too many of them this season alone. The real key is intention. Is a show aiming to be a one-season cash grab, a multi-season story, a visual spectacle, or a blend of both? You highlight examples where anime succeed, like Free Rent, Jobless Reincarnation, Demon Slayer, My Dress Up Darling, and Hell's Paradise, which balance story, character development, visuals, and originality. You also point out how shows like Reincarnated as a Sword or Bartender succeed by focusing on the relationships or atmosphere over action. And your main point, this is Major Officer's main point, isekai itself isn't the problem. It's the lack of imagination and creativity in how many recent shows are executed. Is that accurate to what he said?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
That was ChatGPT.
And that is exactly, I'm not going to say exactly, but here's the point I wanted to add to this, right? Is that we're not going to get overwhelming numbers of the type of anime and the type of shows that, like, for instance, Polo and I like, right?
Right.
And that is kind of why we do what we do here, where we're not specifically talking about the mainstream tropey anime or anything like that. Our so what you can call it, like anime book club, or like our community, it thrives off the idea that there is some diversity in our palettes and in our taste here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to say that while shows like Jobless Reincarnation, I've met people who were like, oh, I don't like that show because it does too much of this. It's too etchy, or it leans too much into like certain aspects. And it's like, I get it. But you literally will watch Don to Don.
Yo, tell them. Where's my tell them button? Fuck.
You literally will watch Don to Don and say, I love every aspect of this show.
Oof, and talk about it. Complain about Fire Force, but watch Don to Don.
There's aliens ripping clothes off little girls, and cool, I get it. That's your cup of tea.
Strange, very peculiar.
But the reality is that we as we have taken time to jump into other genres as this anime podcast has grown on, as like I said, we're into the shoujo realm now at this point, right? We're enjoying those anime, and we're even, when we go through our seasonal anime list, we're looking at those specific anime even significantly more differently than we were in the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like I said, beginning, we were not watching any shoujo. We probably would have watched something like Secret of Silent Witch, but it would have been a hard maybe, bro.
That's a big fact.
A hard maybe. And now look at us. We couldn't ask for more of it. I'm still thinking about the Saints Magic Powers Omnipotent, bro. I always bring it up because it's one of the most chill anime.
That was probably the first one that had like kind of flipped that switch as to giving other stuff like it a try.
Right.
For both of us.
That's what I'm saying. It was such a refreshing watch at that point in time that it is pivotal. And I think that really that's what anime needs, is they need something like that is huge, and it will pivot the direction and perspectives of a large amount of anime fans.
Well, you know what I hate when people do, and this is the TCB specifically, because he brought up Solo Leveling. You can say that about Solo Leveling. I guess you can if you're just looking at it from a surface level, but I guess I'm gonna go into my like I'm gonna start calling it my TCB bag. I read Solo Leveling, so I know it, and Solo Leveling sequel light novel too, and it goes so much deeper than what you are thinking that the anime gives you, what the anime only would give you, right? But I can't see what you mean about Solo Leveling if you only watched it, because it is super surface level between what we got between the quote unquote first and second season, even though I feel like it should be just one season with 2 cores. But I digress. I get it. I definitely get it. But there's so much more to it than that. And with the depth it gives. Like, and I don't know how you feel about Overlord, but with the power fantasy and Overlord, that's so deep. Like, I don't know if you were listening to the podcast around the time where we did our Overlord rewatch, but it goes so deep. That world, that lore, it's fantastic. Let me continue to finish off what Mazer said. I summarized the second piece. This is more of his personal taste, so bear with me. And it says, you love power fantasy, slime, Solo Leveling, Ari, Furiata, but question whether we really need so many. What makes a show like Demon Slayer or Windbreaker stand out is the strength is earned and paired with strong character development. Some series, that was a bar. But question whether we really need so many. What makes shows like Demon Slayer or Windbreaker stand out is that strength is earned and paired with strong character development. That is a bar. I wanted to reread that, make sure that was correct. Some series like Betrothed to My Sister's Ex show huge potential, but don't get the same effort and polish that others like Don to Don do, even though they're arguably deserve it more. Your main concern is that creativity and effort aren't being directed where they should be. Imaginative, unique shows aren't rewarded enough, while formulaic, weaker stories still get massive attention. You point out that Jobless Reincarnation has set the stage for series like Frieren, yet neither gets the recognition they deserve compared to big names like Bleach or Dragon Ball, which you see as iconic but lacking depth. Ultimately, you argue that anime needs more meaningful storytelling plots with real substance to pay off in hindsight, rather than leaning on spectacle and legacy popularity. Is that accurate to what he said?
And just more bars are there when you think about it, right? Because Dragon Ball, Bleach, they are absolutely iconic shows, but what are they also? Digestible.
Very digestible. And Bleach, I think even less digestible. Less so than Dragon Ball, but I mean, point remain the same.
Agreed, right? But there is a level of digestibility to those shows to where you can watch them from 5, probably younger, all the way up until you pass away.
Good point.
You could be on your deathbed losing part of your mind, and Dragon Ball is still understandable. And it's really just because the point is straightforward, right?
Yeah.
But a show like Jobless Reincarnation, that is a power fantasy that a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, it's the same thing over and over. Have you looked at those character relationships?
Yeah.
You do realize that you're going to cry watching Jobless Reincarnation. Yeah. And if you don't cry, you lost your soul somewhere down the line. Yeah. You do realize that watching Frieren, it's not just a power fantasy. Frieren is holding back the entire time while spilling massive amounts of lore and massive amounts of character development for the other characters. Yep. She's not trying to even necessarily run the show. She's just here she's giving you the ride.
Yeah.
And it's just like the perspective that like the power fantasy of these shows is this, because I know that there's like a I'm not gonna say it's a detractor, but it is something that people will say they don't like, is that the power fantasy. They don't want to watch power fantasy all the time.
Yeah,
I get it. That is definitely a way to something that you might want to avoid watching too much of. But there are ones that are specifically targeting a better story. If we're watching Dragon Ball, if we're being completely honest, it is a power fantasy.
Yeah.
We're watching Bleach, it's a power fantasy. One Piece is a power fantasy. All of it with any kind of power system is a power fantasy. So if you're not watching a slice of life, a shoujo, or something like that, which sadly, why do I have to say shoujo and it's not a power fantasy when they might have a power system, but it doesn't seem to lean that way because women, I guess, or young girls don't really care about that specific element, right? Yeah. And I'm not saying that's necessarily true, because there are obviously some that are like that.
Of course.
But when you have the anime, yeah, right. When you have anime that you watch that are strictly they're targeting you, I think it says more about what you're willing to view than what you're actually looking for. You know what I mean? Like you should look for something that isn't necessarily like why am I watching With You in the Rain? It's not. It has nothing to do with the power fantasy, bro. Yeah. It has nothing to do with it. But when we started this, I was looking at anime almost strictly with power-based systems. So there is a point when you reach out and you touch other things, and you often even have to tell your friends, "Yo, go reach out and try something that's slightly different," and maybe that will change the overall anime landscape for the better.
I try to think to myself, I'm like, would I have enjoyed Don episode 1 of this podcast? The answer is still no, obviously, but just thinking about the fact that it all boils down to what we already know, what sells, what gets people logging into Crunchyroll, turning it on a show or Netflix and watching it. I think Gacha Yakuta is like one of the number 1 watch shows on Crunchyroll. I think Don is also up there. But every once in a while, we do get those gems, like what he said about Demon Slayer and Windbreaker being those standout shows that are popular. Now, are they as Don popular? No. Well, Demon Slayer is, obviously. Demon Slayer is more popular than all of that, but Windbreaker isn't. And obviously, Frieren has its people that absolutely love it, but most people that the Don enjoyers call it overrated. But I digress. I mean, we could even talk about Apothecary Diaries not getting the love it deserves. Thankfully, it's still getting a third season too. But I just feel like it's all about the dollars, and that's the only way it makes sense. So it's all about what people are watching, and people are going to continue to spam Twitter, and Twitter is very international, unfortunately. So people are going to spam Twitter about Don. People are going to spam Twitter about not Ari Frietta, Gachi Akuda. Even Togenaki is getting spammed on Twitter when I logged in there, because I did one tweet. I did our every other month non-promotion tweet. And I said, what did I say? I said something very pertinent to this week's episode, and I think it reigns true still to this day. At least that's how we feel personally. But settling for mediocre stories recreating the same tropes is and always will be an issue. I said that is it for our every monthly non-promo tweet. It is. It's an issue, man, because again we're just going to either get, again, that quickly released slop that people think can become popular and make a quick buck, i.e. beginning after the end, or some of the fucking random bullshit we get. Like, I mean, this season's kind of a bad example of it, but to be fair, let me go this summer.
He said, hold up, this is the wrong season to talk about that.
It might be the wrong season. No, I mean, to be fair now, this season is very, very unique in its variety of stuff, but I guess, well, I don't want to say this because I don't mean this, but stuff like New Saga, which got a very low budget, that should have more, because it's actually a really great show.
Yeah. But I mean, we think about that even. We've said New Saga, man, it deserves a bigger budget.
Oh God.
I would even say I wish Scooped Up by S-Rec Adventure, deserves a slightly higher budget.
I mean, it deserves a budget, but it also isn't that unique.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's that unique, but like, it has this level of like, there is something interesting about it.
Yeah.
That we could have taken from so many other shows that just are
very good point. Yeah.
About copy and paste, demon inside, and they fighting to control the demon.
Yep.
Tonganaki.
Yeah.
I got a special unique power that's gonna change the world, and everybody wants to get to me. Gachi Akuda. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a copy and paste. But
so disappointing.
But it's the issue isn't necessarily even the copy and paste of the story. It's the one-to-one retell of the story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can take elements, nothing under the sun. And I literally just heard Neil deGrasse Tyson say something about this, right? What he thought was so important about art was that anybody can make art, right? And when you make the art, there's no one ever in life who's going to be able to recopy that art one-to-one. Your art will always be unique. Even if they try and do it over and over, no one's going to make that same exact piece.
Absolutely.
But in science, when you research something and you find information, it can't be recreated because it's just known now,
it's
right?
Just that answer, yep.
So the genre of shonen is the science. It's made. We already know what it is. It's already there. Dragon Ball is the art that you can't recreate. You can't recreate Dragon Ball. So when you try and do something similar to it, the only thing you can do is try and tell your story in a different manner. But when you try and tell that story as a one-to-one, you try and do your best to get as close to it as possible, you come off as not as good.
So what happened is, technically, Dragon Ball Z did, and I'm using did as in like they did that thing, so bear with me. Dragon Ball Z did. Naruto said, we can't be Dragon Ball Z, so let's do. They did what they do, and they created this unique, at the time, early 2000s. Actually, like, I think the year 2000 is when it came out. A unique enough story where it was like, where it becomes special. But because of that being like easily virtually replicated, yeah. You get Black Clover or anything else got you Kuda Togenaki. You can name the list can go on because okay, Dragon Ball walked so Naruto can run. Naruto is running and everybody decided to follow directly behind Naruto. And I'm using Naruto as an example, but it's the same deal with One Piece and Bleach as well. You know, the whole big three, even though I hate bring that up. But it's those three in particular are those unique things that they started that shit virtually, right? That basic trope that everybody is now copying that we see over and over and over. They did it in unique enough ways. And now everybody but just jumping on that same bandwagon, same powers fantasy, same scale, just same everything. Now it's rare that you get something new. And I'm even hating that I'm saying this, but something new like Undead Unluck is, while it's not my show, it's unique. Hell's Paradise, definitely my show, and it's unique. Jobless Reincarnation, Free Rent, etc. All that stuff. But I digress. Oh, Dr. Stone even. Dr. Stone is super unique. I fucking love it for that.
Yeah. And like I said, Clever Toss is another one that's it has the demon aspect, but it just goes so much further with its perspective and storytelling. So it's just one of those things where you kind of have to. We do understand that, man, it's going to get oversaturated, and with the popularization of anime going forward, obviously it's just going to it might get worse from here. You know what I mean?
They're trying to catch that Naruto lightning in a bottle, for like a term.
Instead of making your own,
because they know making their own ain't gonna get them no money, and sadly, ain't that much money in anime. While there's money in it, it ain't that much money, which means that because it ain't that much money, it's all based on how popular it can get. And guess what's getting popular? The West. Merch. That too. Yeah, that too. Ooh, that too. Demon Slayer shirts and fucking Dragon Ball shirts and Naruto
shirts. Got your Kuda gloves on sale right now. They dirty and everything.
I guarantee you somebody got your Kuda graphic tee right now.
Oh man.
No insult to you and your Kuda graphic tee, but I mean, there's other stuff out there. You know what I would rock? I would rock the hell out of a sort of a Demon Hunter t-shirt.
You know what I would wear? Give me a Secret of Silent Witch shirt.
Ooh, that should be fire. That'd be fire.
Her casting the spell.
The door, the big ass door. Ooh.
Oh my, that shit was hard.
Oh, so tough.
Crazy.
So tough. Man, you know what? I'm gonna give me a fucking dealing with Magadono's sister shirt. Hey, for real though. You
might be on to something.
Peep their cover art. Their cover art is a good enough shirt in itself. I love that show so much. But yeah, going back to the Discord conversation, Mazer, I mean, you hit everything right on the head. That's why when you were talking about Kaiju number 8, I was shocked because I feel like you understand where we're coming from when it comes to this stuff and how it's just, we're so over it. You know, like if you're going to do the action, even though I kind of like what Kaiju number 8 is going now with this situation they're doing. But yeah, no, I think he hit everything nail on the head. And again, the isekai example for that TikTok that we brought up was just an example of the director of Free Run talking about like getting isekai as a vending machine being ridiculous, because it is. It's a ridiculous thing that is slop. So it isn't necessarily the isekai that he was referring to being the issue. I think he was just talking slop in general, the quickly produced shows that don't deserve to even be here. I'm gonna be honest with you. And he also continues with his last thing: Betrothed to My Sister X is exceptional. That is a fact. You're not saying all you spitting, to be honest. And Tell says, I'll let Tell say what Tell says.
Oh, wait, what did I say?
You don't even remember what you said.
Don't say y'all.
Oh, you was in reference to, never mind. You ain't got to read that.
Well, all the way down here. Wait, what?
No, you didn't have to
bro.
read your point. You were replying to something. I wasn't paying attention. My fault.
Okay, yeah, I was like, hold up. But fear, loving this topic. I really love when you guys enter some anime articles or TikToks because they make a larger discussion. There is so much slop in average shows, and we are all to blame in some sense.
Oh yeah.
However, when rating or speaking about the show, we keep it real,
That's
and
a fact.
that is what is important. That last 3 words: keep it real.
Yeah.
And that's why when we do like our anime reviews, we try and be as real as possible.
Yeah.
Like we just watched the Babysitter School,
it's
right?
so good, man. I'm so
It was
sad
such
that
a
it's so
great
low.
show, bro. It was such a great show, but let's be real about the rating.
Yep.
A personal rating, it deserves way more than it got. But if we being real, it landed where it should have landed.
Tell me, spin. That's the way.
But I think that in public popular opinion, right? When you go out into the world and you're reviewing something, and somebody just straight up asks you, "Hey, what do you rate Dragon Ball right now, off the top of your head? Don't think about it. Don't be objective or don't be subjective. What do you think Dragon Ball is?" Right? Polo's rating is probably gonna be lower than mine.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go, oh, it's like a 7 out of 10, something like that.
Yeah, that's how.
But that's what I said. I said your rating's probably gonna be lower than mine. But I'm saying 7 out of 10, and people gonna be like, "What? You think Dragon Ball is a 7 out of 10?" Yes, man. Why do you think it's any better than that?
Yeah. And that's I think you're being generous, even for your scale, I would say. But I know
I'm saying strictly
point.
objective, like personal enjoyment kind of thing.
Yeah.
And let's be real, I don't even enjoy all of it.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
But
that's what I was thinking.
A lot of that is nostalgia. But if that's what it is, that's what it is. When I tell people, because wait, Dragon Ball literally was number 100 on my top 100 list, I think too. By the way,
okay,
literally number 100.
You have 1,000, so that's pretty good.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. But that's real, and it's like, if I was being as objective as possible and I sit down and I break down every idea that I have about Dragon Ball, I go from first season of Dragon Ball, I'm like, damn, the first season of Dragon Ball, I think is pretty good, especially for the time.
Yep.
Then you go into like Dragon Ball Z and you're like, when it starts, it's still kind of good.
Up until the end of Namek, probably.
Yeah, and then you get past the Namek and you're like,
what the fuck?
Okay, we got time travel.
That's when I get to what the fuck. Yeah,
that's cool. And then you get into Majin Buu and you're like,
yeah.
Oh, then we get into Super and we like, holy, I don't know if this is what am I watching,
bro? I seen side tangent. I'm just chilling now. This is a chill episode. I seen a TikTok that had me locked in, bro. And it was about Super Saiyan Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about how? I mean, you watched it. Why did they do Super Saiyan Blue so dirty? Super Saiyan Blue is obtained to just get L's, and they broke down every L that Super Saiyan Blue got and how it should have been just. It's a stepping stone for other stuff when it should have been something so spectacular and so unique, because it is. I mean, you're fucking blue for peeps sakes. While the other forms are like kind of regular and basic. He was like, every time Super Saiyan Blue gets introduced, he gets mopped by everybody. Jiren and fucking everybody he fight in Super Saiyan Blue, they just lose, essentially. Like Frieza trains for 4 months and he beats Super Saiyan Blue like it's nothing. It's a wild situation to think about, because Super Saiyan Blue is supposed to be like peak training, right? You're trained with Whis, isn't that how that go?
But we know it's not even that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know it's not that, right? Because like and like you said, it's crazy. You think about the L's. Obviously this is kind of a side tangent, but you think about the L's that Super Saiyan Blue has taken. But then you think about the victories that Super Saiyan 1 had.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 1 had the dopest victory of all time.
Dog, yes.
It literally was one of the most. It's transcendental, like we talked about before. It is a moment that happened in anime that will forever be cemented in anime.
Yep.
All of the new people who watch anime will probably go back and rewatch Goku going Super Saiyan 1 for the first time.
That's anime's turning point, not just Dragon Ball Z's turning point. That's anime's turning point.
Right. It is a pivotal moment in anime, right?
Yep.
And then you got Super Saiyan 2, which still went hard. It still went hard, but it will never go as hard as Super Saiyan 1.
Yep.
Super Saiyan 3 definitely went hard, but it will never go as hard as Super Saiyan 1. Super Saiyan 4, okay, whatever. It's canon now, but whatever. But then you have Super Saiyan God, which is the red hair. Then you got Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, which is like the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 2. And it's like, it got washed. It got pushed aside. Yep. And it's supposed to be like the new base form, right? That's what I think. And that's how I look at it. Is they tried to reset. They tried to do a reset for this power level because now they're on a whole grander scale, so to speak, right? Yeah. But
universal scale.
Yeah, but that's what almost makes it feel like dumbed down because, like you said, he was fighting Hit. Yep. And Hit didn't have no super forms. He just had, I jump a little bit into the future and put hands on you. And Goku had to go Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan mixed with Kaioken to land some hits. And then you fight Jiren and Jiren just look at you funny and that's gone. Stop all of that. It's like, it's mad disrespectful. Then, like you said, Frieza's like, you know what?
4 months of training.
And I've never trained in my life, mind you. And let's be fair, his training, I don't even think he technically trained because he didn't train to get gold. He
wished for it,
right?
Wasn't that now?
He didn't wish for it. He just mentally thought about like how he could condense his power and get stronger. I think is how he didn't even actually train for it. Yeah. He just was like, I want to get stronger, and he was in hell compressing his power like he was fucking Aizen, and he went gold. And then to get Super Saiyan Black not Super Saiyan Black, and to get Frieza Black, which is in the manga, that's where I think he actually trained for. And it was like, he's out here washing people now.
So if it's supposed to be the reset, the Super Saiyan 1, why isn't it not? Whatever, man.
Nearly as epic. Yeah. Never again. Because then you got Ultra Instinct, which now Super Saiyan don't even matter.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it blows me. Wasted time. Sorry, I had to take Claritin.
It's okay.
Sorry for that side tangent, but we go back. We got to give roses where they're due. Glazing Mid shows is a part of it, but something like Jobless is in your top. You got to put people onto it. Mazer says that's a fact, which we do. I think we do a good job of propping up shows that are unique enough. We sing its gospel. Sometimes we're wrong too. Like there's been quite a few times where we sing the gospel of things we thought was going to be spectacular, ended up not being, and that's okay. We recognize that. We accept that.
I also think that it's reasonable to say that when we go out on a limb to prop up shows that
we think
that just deserve to be talked about a little bit more, like let's say Ash Lost in Space, Vivi's Fluorite, just a couple. How I'm always gonna say Remake Our Life is a phenomenal show. I will never not mention that one.
Top tier.
I just think that we glaze over so many spectacular shows as a whole in the anime community. We might look at an episode or two and then move on so quickly, but we're not really giving them the chance to shine. We're not really giving them a chance. We're not giving ourselves a chance to grow into some of these shows. You know what I mean?
You know how many times
I would have never given Remake Our Life a chance at the beginning of this podcast.
100%. You know how many times I've seen somebody talk about shows like Freerun though, and they said, but what about the fight with the Demon Lord? I'd rather see them fight the Demon Lord. I'd rather see them go on the adventure.
You didn't see everything that happened in between that built the story and context and the world of that show that made fighting that Demon Lord or not even a Demon Lord, made fighting that demon so impressive and beautiful.
Sorry, I had to sneeze. But no, it's the point, and I always say this. every time I see it, I'm like, that's not the point of the show. The point of the show isn't that. It's beyond Journey's End for a reason. Okay, what it is it's okay. It's not spoilers. It's her finding the appreciation, her finding humanity's appreciation, like learning to appreciate humanity's finite time, or just finite time in general. You can even just say that, put it even more basic, just appreciating time. When you have unlimited amount of time, why would you appreciate it? Why would you appreciate the small amount of time? You know what I'm saying? Why would you appreciate 10 years if you live for 1,000? You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about. Going on a journey to learn about that and to learn more about yourself, even though you're 5,000 years old or whatever the case may be. I'm over exaggerating, obviously, because I don't know exactly, but what remains the same. That is what makes that story so special. And I'm tired of people saying it's so slow. It's so slow. Stop. Like, everything doesn't have to be 60 seconds, 15 seconds, a minute, 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm an old man and I'm in my humbug time where I'm like, yo, you fucking kids and your TikToks and Vines and Instagram Reels and shit. Sit down, open up your eyes, and just enjoy the ride of shit, you know?
Nothing about Freedom is slow.
Nothing.
I
I
didn't feel like it was slow at any point in time.
Bro, somebody said I stopped
like,
watching it because it was slow. Like, stop.
My eyes and brain was doing this constantly. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. And it's all, I think we should do a rewatch of the dub too, because I seen the dub clip of it and it's not, don't seem too bad.
I'm down.
I'm into it. Rob Stone comment on our YouTube video and he says, wow, you didn't just hit the antagonist button, you smashed it. He says, thank goodness I'm here for the slice of life recommendation rather than the shonen recommendations. And he says, my top 5. His top 5 goes New Saga at number 5. Very unique show we talked about. Number 4, Apocalypse Bringer. Another very unique show. Clevitas, number 3. Yes. Number 2, Secrets of the Silent Witch. And guess what his number 1 is? His number 1 is Macadono Sisters, which I can appreciate.
It deserves it.
100%. Like, you can interchange his top 3 to be ones and nobody would be upset. Nobody in our community, that is, will be upset about it at all. Like, interchanging Silent Witch to be 1 and Macadono 2, perfectly fine. Clevitas 1, Macadono 3, perfectly understandable. Like,
Approach My Sister X, number 1.
Yeah, 100%. So you can't really lose with this list at all, I would say. At all.
Yeah.
And I don't think,
man, it's a substantially like ridiculous season though.
it is. Honestly, it's truly stacked. Even when you got continuations of stuff, it's a stacked season.
And I think that's kind of what makes watching some of this shonen so easy though, because there's so much to decompress with.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. Okay, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Because for me, I'm like, no, it's not, because I don't have time to watch the trash when I have all this goodness. But
yeah,
when
I can
have,
turn the trash on. It's dubbed. A lot of it is dubbed.
Yep.
And then you watch like Secrets of Silent Witch. You watch, Macadono Sisters. Man, I turned on Macadono Sisters and I was like, oh, this is such a good episode. I love these characters.
Good. Yeah.
It was so easy to watch. And I was like, just chill afterwards. I was like, I don't even have to do nothing else for the rest of the day. I'm cool.
Every show on my list, outside of Gachikudo and Tokonaki, because they're still on my list, but I'm not watching them. Every show on my list, I look at when I see it comes up in like the notification saying, hey, this show just released another episode. I smile. There's not one show where I'm like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn it, I don't feel like watching this.
Where are you at with you in the rain?
Episode 5.
Okay.
No.
It was at the festival, I think.
Yes. Yep. I forgot to mark it off, actually. Yeah, when she thought she lost him, and
and they had that final scene. Oh my God! I was like, oh my God, this show is so good.
It was wonderful. Yeah, I love that show so much. It's so good.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many good things there are this season, and it's being washed out by popularity.
Popularity. Washed out by popularity. That's the name of this episode. All right. Let's get to know my check waifu waifu real quick, and then no break. Let's just get to know my check waifu waifu and then spoil some stuff, shall we?
All right, cool.
I'll read the question this week. Tell if you would do me the honors of reading a number. Rolling a number. Which I think is the correct order anyway.
I'm not even gonna lie to you.
What's up?
67.
The roll again.
56.
What anime character would you like to be friends with in real life? Ooh, that's a good one. I got mine already, and I'm gonna go with this season. Sakuta, Zawoka. Fuck, I can't say his name to save my life. But Sakuta from Rascal Does Not Dream of a Bunny Girl or Santa Claus, or I think we would be really good friends because we're both, I don't know, just chill, sarcastic. You know, he's more willing to help people than I am, but I enjoy his character a lot. And again, this show's conversation, dialogue, unbelievable. So good.
I'm gonna go with one of my favorite guy characters of all time, and it's Ikki Kurogane.
Ikki Kurogane
from Chivalry Failed Knight.
Yeah.
Because he was an absolutely amazing character.
Yeah, he was.
And deserved at least one more season.
Yeah, I will. Use that as a way to promote it. That's good. I like it. All right. What are we spoiling this week, Tel?
Can we talk about Secret Silent Witch?
Yes.
Oh no, let's go. Let's not do that one yet. Let's do Lord of Mysteries.
Yes. You want to do that now?
Yes.
All right. Holy shit, bro. This is the spoiler half of the show where we're going to spoil the latest episode. Not the latest because we're behind. We're watching the dub like most of us, like most people are now. But we're on episode 6 of the dub. So we're going to spoil that. Just a heads up. You've been warned. What you got for me?
That was fucking phenomenal.
Oh my God. Incredible.
Not only is it okay, so we know it's good to look at.
Yeah.
It's the story, right? This is the episode with the professor.
Yep.
And his backstory.
Unbelievable.
I felt so much just watching it. And this is one of those things where I understand that the anime budget for this is crazy, right? They're doing so much on the animation level. But hear me out. The storytelling without having to say any words, just looking at what's going on, they didn't need the anime budget specifically to tell the story the way they did, bro. Yeah. It just would just add it on to the layers of how they presented it. It was very cool. And I did feel like, I'm not going to say I felt emotional, but I felt, obviously it was an emotion welling up, but it was like, it wasn't like sadness or anything. It was like more like frustration, how I imagined he would feel, because clearly he was going to feel sad, but I was like frustrated because it was like, bro. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just thinking, like, you think about the structure of the show. We talk about this all the time. It's very simple. It's a mystery of the week type of show for right now, with an overall story that we're working towards. And then you have, again, the mystery of the week. This mystery of the week was the professor, because of what he learned in the previous episode of the professor being seemingly older. Okay, that is the hint that they gave last episode. We've come to find out that he is. And again, when we figure out the mystery at the end, all the storytelling and the very lack thereof dialogue, because there is not much dialogue in this episode at all, but the lack thereof of the dialogue tells that story And when we come to quote unquote solve that mystery, because we didn't really solve the mystery, right? We just learned about what the mystery is. It just is so enthralling because you just sit back and you're like, fuck. Like, this story is absolutely right. Like, imagine living forever, essentially, and going through so many lives and meeting someone, falling in love, having kids, falling in love with the kids, and not being able, and seeing them kids grow up and die, or the wife get old and die. And all this shit just happens over and over and over, and you're bouncing back and forth, and you're doing it over and over and over. But in his particular case, he loses his memory sometimes of it. And this is
every 10 years.
Yeah, every 10 years. And this is my thought of it, though. I think he beyond that himself. I think he does that himself for a particular reason, and that's to prevent that hard heartbreak that he experiences every single time that his loved ones gets old and die. And I think that's and that's just my interpretation of it, but that's what I love about the show. You can find your own interpretation of it, and maybe they can explain it, and maybe they don't. But with coming up with my own interpretation of that story makes that story just that much better for me.
Yeah, and your inference makes a ton of sense, right? Because I didn't even think of it in that way specifically, because it's like, yeah, imagine living forever and you never get to see your loved ones to the end, right?
Right. Or you do see them to the end, and that's where the problem is.
Yeah, or they never get to see you to the end.
Yeah.
And having to explain that, yeah, I'm going to outlive you, but I'm going to love you forever. And that is a wealth of heartbreak. Like, now it puts into perspective as well, because I just thought those are people who maybe fought on the battlefield with him, but those are probably spirits that followed him forever.
Yep.
Who loved him forever.
All of his family. Yep.
And
or his denizens, even.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's crazy to think about. And then he has this son who had that experience. He's a wraith. And he's a wraith because his father left him, and he doesn't know why, understandably so. And he just has this lingering sadness and frustration within him. It's such a cool way for this story to go. And I think that they tell stories really in a really cool dynamic way each episode. But this one just got me, bro. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
And we didn't even talk about how I talked about the two stories, the mystery of the week, and then the overarching story. The overarching story was him learning about the artifact being the drop of blood of a god, and that and him divining a god and looking at a god, and that guy saying, hey yo, don't look at me, and basically burn him to fucking smithereens. Like,
but
what?
Unlocking potential within him.
Exactly, because then he get the knowledge that this is what you shouldn't do. Let me tell you why this happened. Let me tell you what you should. And unlocking sequence 4. What?
Like, but that's the thing though, is that he has the sequence for it, but he can't use it yet.
Oh, absolutely
right?
not. Yeah,
he has to go through the sequence. He has to go through the chain. But it's like, and this is crazy. It's like collecting puzzle pieces, but you can't put them in place yet.
Yep.
Can
you imagine?
He gets this,
the highest diviner they have right now is a 7, or I think they said 6 is the highest they know in around them right now. Can you imagine a 4?
But that's what I'm saying, and I say this to think that, like, when he gets to that point, he's gonna be overpowered, right? But you also think about, like, and I think about when you look at how he operates. Yes, they seem like the people they run into and stuff like that are powerful. Why does he just seem like on an entirely different level, though? You know what I mean? Like, he definitely seems like on an entirely different level. Like, he is and I also thought about how they did the prayer to him specifically.
Yeah.
There has to be more power that he can gain. Like, you can be stronger based on having certain situations happen. So, and this is just a almost like a gut check. I think that his table will eventually be fuller.
Yeah. It will have to be.
And people are going to be viewing him as a higher power. And that God that he saw may be there where you don't want to view him, so to speak. But I do think that power that he gains from those people believing in his strength and praying to him with those, sequences of words and whatnot will just empower him even more, to where he might not even have to necessarily go as high as some others on sequences to be able to even compete or contend.
Yeah. I mean, he's unlocked an entirely new threshold that nobody's ever seen. Obviously, we know that because at the beginning they talk about, like, when you get up to sequence 1, you get power that even rivals a god. So they say that at the beginning. So the closer you get to sequence 1, the more divine you become. I think that he already has some of that divinity in him because he's two people in one, which I don't think this world has ever seen. Because what he did was, again, based off his life in China, that he did something that was transmogrified, or as we know it, isekai, into a world that has this type of power, to where being isekai or transmogrified is so unheard of, that you basically have two minds, essentially. You know what I'm saying? And then with the knowledge that he has of his time in China. Oh no, it happened before with the king, and the last guy that was isekai was a king, became a king. So we can only imagine what happens now that somebody who's coming to this world knows what happened to the king, knows the mistakes that the king made now. Mm-hmm. And then apparently being in Klein was also very smart, according to what he said in like the first episode. I think it was his first or second episode, where he talked about all the knowledge that Klein had and the college he was about to join and all the studying that he did, et cetera, et cetera. But I just find this whole story spectacular. It's in bits and pieces. Yes, it is jumbled up and discombobulated in a sense as far as like the base story goes. But again, that's because Klein's mind is, Yeah. So I'm infatuated. I do want to see him at the table again more though, which I'm sure we'll get.
Yeah, when he goes to that table, bro, not only is it one of the best looking moments, but it just
sound too.
The cool factor for me comes from the chess match of like him trying not to show his hand too much.
Yep. And have them believe in him, like you mentioned earlier. And you think about that too, it's very reminiscent of the way this just goes to sound design, but it's very reminiscent of how Ainz does, right? How he has his inner monologue, which is him, his normal human self, and then he talks and exudes this power, this personality. And that's how he is when he is behind the table. It's just so fucking cool, man. I don't know. I think we're becoming Downwell fans.
I mean, yeah, this is great.
We love Link Click. We love To Be Hero X. We love Endure Lord of Mysteries. But there are quite a few down ones that's trash though, like the one you watched a long time ago. It was just throwing hands. The bottle with the.
Oh yeah, but it got better in later seasons as they moved past just like they just had a very crappy preface with that first season, bro.
Gotcha.
Because it's actually really deep once you get past that first season, but it's like, bro, oh my goodness, why are we watching this in this first season?
All right, let's talk about Secrets of the Silent Witch.
Okay.
Bro. This episode was a turning point, I think, personally. Turning point being episode 8 of Secrets of the Silent Witch. Because, for one, I don't think anybody saw, what's her name? Casey? Was that her
being
name? I think her name was Casey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody saw Casey being the one to portray Monica. I definitely did. That blew me back.
It wasn't that. Yeah, I thought it was entirely going to be somebody different.
Yeah,
but
they
did a great job of subverting like the attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, they did. Because Casey did a great job of acting. And nobody remembered the fact that she folded her paper instead of writing her name on it. So why would? Well, no, because I guess we could have just put 2 and 2 together and saw that Casey's name was on one, and then the other one had to be Monica. So that could have been the reason as far as the tea getting thrown in the trash. But sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. But I'm infatuated with this show. It's so good.
The whole setup to get to where we were and to force Monica to cast a spell that she did even.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was epic, right?
That shows how powerful the sages are.
Right. But it also goes to show that, and it always baffles me when I watch how this show kind of plays out, because I think about, she's massively powerful, yes. But the reason she's massively powerful is because of the fact that she was so shy that she didn't want to talk. And it really is, though. She was so shy that she didn't want to talk, but she taught herself how to cast magic without speaking. But that just means that if she can do that, right, that means that if she actually decides to talk, she can do significantly more than what the average person in this world can do.
Absolutely.
And it just gives that much more power to her words in like the reality of the show, but also in like the magic of the show. She's just, it gives gravity to her action. She knows she could change the landscape around her without talking.
Yeah.
The landscape.
Yep. That's a fact. What'd you think about her doing all this in front of Casey? Like, what do you think that is going to amount to? How much?
I think that there were points put together for Casey already, where Casey kind of understood what was going on. I don't think she directly said anything, right? But I think that I feel like Casey put it together that either she's one of the sages.
Well, no, she had no idea. She was like, how is she casting? She even said that. She was freaking out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I felt like, I don't know why I felt like she was thinking that, or that she was putting it together. But what I think that it was a sign of that she is not necessarily, because she got to say something. She got to say something that, hey, you tried to assassinate the prince. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
She got to say something.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like maybe Lewis will find a way to reconcile this in some way, shape, or form so that Casey doesn't have to go out. But I do feel like Casey got to get in trouble somehow.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so for
one, I kind of feel like her reasoning kind of makes sense though, like why she was, but it's still like there were other ways that you had to go about this.
I was just finna say that. I was finna say her point is her reasoning is valid, because like nobody's going to help that backwater town. And even though they kind of proved that Felix isn't going to be the puppet king that she thinks he's going to be, everybody thinks he's going to be the puppet king, but he's saying like, look, I'm going to become king, but I'm not going to become the puppet. Even if people think I'm going to become the puppet king, like he said. It was a good reasoning, because her brothers, bro, she had to see that. And she had to know, like, I'm not going to get any help unless I handle this somehow myself. That's going to hurt. Is Monica going to tell? Or are they going to have it be both their secret? No, I don't think she's going to tell.
Secret of the Silent Witch.
I think Monica's like, if you can keep my secret, I'll keep your secret type of deal. Even though I feel like Casey should get in trouble. What she did,
and that's what I'm saying. It's like I am torn, because it's like you said, I understand, but you kind of got to get in trouble.
That's how I feel. Yeah,
I might have done the same thing in your position, but I might have also tried to take other routes. I don't know, but hear me out.
I guarantee You saw how close Monica is to the prince. You have other chances. If you get close to Monica, then you think to yourself, I can get close to the prince because I'm close to Monica. Then I can tell, hey, Prince, this is the situation. Is there any way, anything you could do? You know what I'm saying? There's other ways to subvert what she's thinking, but maybe she's like,
I 100% agree.
Maybe she's like, I know how this world works, and that just wouldn't work. Maybe that's just the knowledge we don't have because we don't live there. You know?
They said they asked for help when they were trying, and nobody came to help, but the people they're trying to fight.
Yep. So, it's rough though. All I know is it was beautiful. It was well executed.
Yes.
She basically went against 2 sages herself and rewrote a sage spell or 2 sages spells. I don't know how Lewis is going to just probably fucking laugh it off or something like that when he understands the situation. Yeah. Oh, that means Casey's in trouble.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. She gotta get in trouble because Lewis is there. But that's what I'm saying. Lewis is the only way that Casey get out of this. Because Lewis is gonna be like, hold up, you tried to kill the king because that's what I got a spell. And
very good point.
So if it's not for Lewis is the only way Casey get out of this. Yeah, otherwise, it's a wrap.
You're absolutely right. I just forgot about that fast. Damn. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I'm looking at some of these voice actors for some of these characters.
Some of your favorites?
Yeah. Well, not really, but I mean, they are now.
They good.
I don't watch do you watch the dub of Secrets of the Silent Witch?
Nope.
The dub is so old country bumpkin.
Is it really?
It's bad, bro. They all sound like they're reading. And like it always starts in dub for some reason, and I have to flip it. And the minute the first line comes out and it gets read and I flip it to sub, I'm like, how does it sound so different?
Really?
It's so strange, Till. It's so strange. I'm like, why are y'all reading like that? It's just, the show is popular. It should have the quality that I know that these actresses can do. I don't know.
You hating the dub is crazy, bro.
I know. It blows me back because I'm shocked. I'm very much shocked. Okay. That it?
I think that's it, bro.
Tell. I'm at Polo Morefly on all social media.
I'm at King Taliano on all social media.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@MikeCheckWaifu, and subscribe to our gaming podcast, youtube.com/@RespectGames. And as always, Mike check.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu Waifu. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?